Hello there.
To say I'm excited is just such an understatement at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elie Moses, your 23-year-old law and film student here from Sydney, Australia. Shooting is shot, baby, and today we continue our journey making our way through the top 250 IMDB films that I haven't seen yet, doing first-time movie reactions, and today we are going to be watching Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. I have been putting this film to the sideline for years now. Like, I've been really wanting to watch it. I even own it on Blu-ray, but yes, I still haven't watched it, and yeah, it hasn't made the starting lineup yet. It continues to be on the bench, but today, it is getting into the starting lineup. I am going to be watching this film for the first time. I'm hella excited because if it's anything like Kubrick's other work, which I have seen in Clockwork Orange and The Shining, I'm in for a hell of a ride. I still have to see Full Metal Jacket as well. I cannot wait to do that. But today, I put a poll on the channel saying which film should I watch, North by Northwest or 2001 A Space Odyssey, and Stanley Kubrick got the nod today, so North by Northwest will be later on as well. So yeah, I'm hella excited to see this film. I've seen no footage of this film, which is absolutely fantastic and makes me more excited for it. So yeah, let's get right into the reaction. Let's have some fun with this thing. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what this film's about because it is in the IMDb top 250. Let's see why this film is an iconic film. Let's get into it. Let's go. Thank you for your guys' support as well on the Schindler's List reaction and your comments and takes on the film as well, because obviously when I watch these for the first time, I sometimes miss a few things and don't understand some themes or some sort of points of characters as well. So yeah, I appreciate you guys in the comment section all the time. And Kubrick making us stare into the dark abyss of a black screen with this music. Like something's gonna pop up. I bet you so many reactors to this film thought that their stream wasn't working or the film was corrupt or something, but no. This is just Kubrick genius. He's letting the score do the talking here. I love this. I absolutely love this. I feel like he's painting a picture for what the film is going to explore, sort of like that element of the unknown and exploration, sort of like you don't even know what you're getting into as the audience. Hence the black screen and just letting the music do the talking. Hey, that was an awesome beginning. I might just leave that all in so you can see my facial expressions just change. I'm like, okay, I'm just thinking. Is that where this comes from? This film? I know this theme from the Chicken Invaders game I used to play as a kid. Do you guys remember Chicken Invaders? That was the GOAT game. I love it. I love it. Oh, the copyright is going to be strong with this one. It's already crazy the two different vibes Kubrick's been able to portray in like the first 4 minutes right here, immediately you had that beginning with the black screen, and you're just staring into a black screen, but it's the music that's doing the talking, it's the score that's doing the talking, and you sort of get like an unnervy, eerie vibe to it. And then you transition to the MGM credits, and then you see a panning shot of a planet over a sun, of like a planet, and then another planet, and the sun behind that planet, and it's got this sort of like euphoric crescendo to it, and it's like uplifting, if that makes sense. And it's like two different tones already, and you're just like, which one? I don't know. It's just, this film's gonna be a ride. That's what it's telling me. Immediately, I'm thinking, what locations did they use to film these? There's something so peaceful and tranquil about this opening here. Just let nature run its course. I'm loving this so far. Absolutely loving it. Playing like a Planet Earth documentary, and I'm loving it. The way the middle ape is, or Homo sapien, Neanderthal, not sure what depicting here, but the way the other one just glanced to the left. Guessing this film is gonna try and show like our evolution to sort of like the apex predator. How we've evolved to becoming top of the food chain. Well, the score in this film's fantastic. Whoever's in the chimp costumes, the emoting is absolutely fantastic. I think what Kubrick is trying to do here is use the apes as a representation for how we've evolved as humans as well. You know, he had the beginning as well of the apes, the other tribes sort of asserting their territory over the other apes. Curiosity as well, involving that object right there and wanting to explore, you know, that element of the unknown and being overwhelmed with curiosity. You know, we can't help ourselves sometimes. It's always cool when you hear something or see something before and then you finally watch the origin of it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we became violent. I can imagine audiences at the time thinking those were real trained apes or chimpanzees instead of like individuals in the costume. That's how good the mannerisms and emotings are, and the costume design is fantastic as well. They've all learned to use the bones. Oh, so World War One wasn't in 1914. This was World War One. Oh man, let him wave the white flag. Oh, my guy in the background just double tapped him as well. That's gonna be a transition to the modern day. I'm guessing a dog. A dog. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a transition to like the modern day with like a dog chewing the bone or like catching the bone in midair. I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I see like depictions of like humans like their early stage, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. I don't know, I just get that feeling. But for instance, when I watched, or when my brother showed me the first Planet of the Apes film, like the 1960s version, I believe, it just freaks me out seeing that resemblance to us, if that makes sense. I mean, whether you're a believer in evolution and things like that, I mean, I'm a religious individual, so yeah, I'm not like gonna talk about that or delve into that topic at the moment. But whenever you just see that resemblance of like earlier mankind, or what people see as earlier mankind from what we evolved from, it just kind of freaks me out sometimes. Just seeing that like resemblance, it's shocking at points. Like it's just scary. I love the score of this film so far. It makes you feel like you're floating in space. The only Kubrick can make a pen floating in a spacecraft so epic. I reckon some of these shots right here might have influenced Star Wars a little bit, because they're kind of reminding me of some of the shots from inside like the Star Destroyers and things like that. I think George Lucas may have been inspired by this film a little bit.
Here are sir, main level, please.
So the first words of dialogue were spoken in 25 minutes and 44 seconds into the film. And that 25 minutes, in my opinion, or on my first viewing here, flew by. Like, I didn't even need the dialogue. Like I said earlier on in the film, with my first pause when I talked about it, Stanley Kubrick is letting the score do the talking right here. And it's a combination of the score and his fantastic cinematography right here, and effects work as well. Guessing a lot of 3D modeling was used as well for the space stations and space shots as well. But in terms of the framing in the Dawn of Man sequence right there, lots of location shots. I'm guessing some sound stages as well. But all use of steady shots as well. It was steady shots, letting the camera frame hold still and beautiful wide shots. I mean, there was a fantastic wide shot and wide long shot before of you see the opposing sort of ape clan descending upon the other clan as well, and as they all go sporadic, and it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, in those scenes right there, in the nature scenes, it was all diegetic sound. It was a fantastic use of natural sounds, and I guess creating those sounds in post as well with the apes. It was absolutely fantastic. And then obviously when you go to the space sequences, it's just a lot of establishing shots of planets, space stations, spaceships, but the score is doing the talking, and it's almost as if I was like floating in space with them and along with the ride. And it was absolutely fantastic. 25 minutes in and we get our first words of dialogue. It's like, here you are, sir, as well. It's like, here you are, audience. You're here.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
We haven't seen you up here for a long time.
Oh, very nice to see you again.
Did you have a pleasant flight, sir?
It's very nice, thanks. I think Mr. Miller of Station Security is supposed to be meeting me.
Oh, well, may I call him for you?
Yes, please. Oh, here he is.
Oh, hello, Dr. Floyd.
How are you?
Sorry I'm late.
That's quite all right. You're looking great.
Thank you. It's nice to have you back.
Matter of fact, I've reserved a table for you in the flight room.
Oh, fine, thanks.
It's been about 7 or 8 months since you were here last, wasn't it?
Well, let's see, last June. Yeah, about 8 months.
Suppose you saw the work on the new section when you came in.
Hey, coming along great. Huh?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta make a couple of phone calls. You go on ahead in the restaurant. I'll meet you there. Huh?
Right.
The camera work in this film's fantastic, and the production design's outstanding. Love that long take right there of the hallway. And then it pans slowly to the right, and then holds still as he enters the phone booth.
Hello. How are you, Squirt? What are you doing?
Playing.
Where's Mummy?
Gone to shopping.
Oh, who's taking care of you?
Rachel. Alright.
Anything special that you want?
Yes,
What?
a telephone.
We got lots of telephones already.
She wants the iPhone
Think of anything else
14.
you want for your birthday? Something very special?
Yes,
What?
a bush baby.
A bush baby. Well, we'll have to see about that. Listen, sweetheart, I want you to tell Mummy something for me. Will you remember?
Yes,
Well, tell Mummy that I telephoned, okay? Okay, now take care and be a good girl, won't you?
alright. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Happy birthday.
Oh, they got better connection than FaceTime.
This is Dr. Andrei Smyslov.
Oh, how do you do?
Floyd.
I've heard a lot about you.
You sit down.
Well,
No, no, please.
I can't stop looking at that planet floating,
You like a drink?
going around the circles in the left-hand side of the frame right there.
someone's meeting me in the restaurant.
There must have been so much thought and effort put into the execution of particular shots in this film. Lots of rehearsals as well, lots of trial and error. There's a whole essay of instructions on how to use the 0G toilet. Oh, we're going to the moon, baby. This is where we're gonna make contact with Sentinel Prime. Dark side of the moon. I could watch this all day. Just give me establishing shots of things slowly opening up, things slowly moving in space with this music. I'm calm. The attention to detail is phenomenal. I love how on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see like the monitors recording the landing. The score in this film's on a different wavelength, man. No pun intended, but the score in this film's on another planet. You know what I've noticed as well? Lots of reds and whites in this film. Like, I know the cockpit is lit in sort of like a blood red type of color. And even before in like sort of the hallway scene, it was like a hot pink chairs mixed with white. Like white walls, white interior. The amount of wallpaper shots in this film is crazy so far. Like money shots. I love the landscape shots. So good. You know what? The attention to detail on the lighting as well, like reflected from the planet there, is fantastic because some of the rock formations here have this sort of like cyan blue tinge to them, or like sort of like highlight around them. And I'm not sure if that's just the effects there, but I feel like that's intentional with the lighting reflecting off the planet, from the blue planet there. I'm not sure if that's Earth in the distance. I don't think it is. No, it might be, because that's the moon. It might be, it might be. Genius. Genius. The placement of the camera and the angles. Like the way, like, just the amount that's captured in one shot is astounding. You know, I felt like I've also heard this score before. I feel like I've heard it in the Godzilla 2014 trailer, the first teaser trailer. It might have been used in that trailer. Let me know, guys, if it has been, because it sounds similar to the score in that trailer. Oh, that's the similar object that was in the Dawn of Man sequence in the beginning with the apes. I love how at points this film can seem so peaceful and tranquil and just so relaxing to view because of these long sort of like establishing shots of space, but then in an instant it will unsettle you. I love how it's mimicking sort of the same similar actions that the apes used in the beginning of the film with the monolith structure. Remember I was talking about that sense of curiosity? Damn, 18-month time jump. You know what it makes me think as well? There are some really long establishing shots in this film, and it makes me curious as to whether there is like an extended edition of this film, like, and how long it would have been. Like how much unused footage was left on the cutting room floor.
The HAL 9000 computer, which can reproduce, though some experts still prefer to use the word mimic, most of the activities of the human brain, and with incalculably greater speed and reliability.
The AI, basically.
We next spoke with the HAL 9000 computer, whom we learned one addresses as Hal. Good afternoon, Hal. How's everything going?
Good afternoon, Mr. Amer. Everything is going extremely well.
Hal, you have an enormous responsibility on this mission. In many ways, perhaps the greatest responsibility of any single mission element. You are the brain and central nervous system of the ship, and your responsibilities include watching over the men in hibernation. Does this ever cause you any lack of confidence?
Let me put it this way, Mr. Amer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9,000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.
I love how it's talking to
Hal,
the AI about
despite your
confidence.
enormous intellect, are you ever frustrated by your dependence on people to carry out actions?
You know,
Not
human
in the
emotions.
slightest bit. I enjoy working with people.
Can't think of anything else to say
Oh,
now.
give our love today.
Oh, yes, be sure and give my best regards. We wish you the very happiest of birthdays.
God bless.
In terms of context with this film, right? This film came out a year before the moon landing. And did Kubrick sort of make this film as a representation of like humanity's evolution as well, in terms of like how far we've come, and sort of like to paint that picture as well of that element of the unknown, in terms of like not knowing what we're going to find on the moon and things like that, and sort of like you know, that sort of curiosity mixed with that sort of unknown nature of exploring space. Did that have anything to do with the sort of creation of this film, sort of that humanity sort of uncovering space travel and having the technology to and capabilities to do that, and obviously going to land on the moon a year after this? But did that announcement or anything have anything to do with the making of this film? I'm just asking you guys.
For best son.
I'm gonna go out and say it. The production design on older films is much better than films today. I said it. I don't know. I just feel like so
Good
much thought and
evening, Dave.
effort is
How you doing,
put
Hal?
into
Everything's
the
running
production
smoothly.
design back
And
then.
you?
Oh, not too bad.
Have you been doing some more work?
A few sketches.
May I see them?
Sure.
Man, why do I feel like that whenever there's a shot of Hal, I'm looking into the eye of
That's a
Sauron?
very nice rendering, Dave.
Like, it's not nice.
I think you've improved a great deal. Can you hold it a bit closer?
Sure.
That's Dr. Hunter, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
No, not at all.
This AI is developing.
Well, forgive me for being so inquisitive, but during the past few weeks, I've wondered whether you might be having some second thoughts about the mission. Perhaps I'm just projecting my own concern about it. I know I've never completely freed myself of the suspicion that there are some extremely odd things about this mission, that particularly in view of some of the other things that have happened, I find them difficult to put out of my mind.
This AI is just
For
gonna...
instance, the way all our preparations were kept under such tight security, and the melodramatic touch of putting Doctors Hunter, Kimball, and Kaminsky aboard, already in hibernation after 4 months of separate training on their own.
You're working up your crew psychology report.
Of course I am.
Cap.
Sorry about this.
He lying.
I know it's a bit silly. Just a moment.
I love how curious and inquisitive Hal is as an AI. It doesn't bode well for the crew, in my opinion. I'm guessing this is where James Gunn got the inspiration for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 spacesuits. Because they look very similar, except in Guardians 3 they're very puffed. Where is the breathing coming from? Which character? Is it Frank breathing through his nose? Or is it the individuals in the cryo chamber? What a shot. What a shot. And Kubrick's just gonna hold the camera there. He's gonna hold the shot. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the breathing noises mixed with the engine noise right there, or like things in the room. I think it's like the slight engine sounds. But mainly the breathing noises. They're so uncomfortable for me. Like it's disturbing in a way.
I would recommend that we put the unit back in operation and let it fail.
How? What?
It should then be a simple matter to track down the cause.
After it fails, but...
We can certainly afford to be out of communication for the short time it will take to replace it.
Nah, how's sus? Whoever plays Hal or voices Hal, Douglas Rain, it says right there, is absolutely fantastic. The way he delivers his lines, it feels like it hedges up, like it at the same. I'm trying to get the right word to describe his line delivery. It's like I don't want to use the word sus a lot, like in suspicious, but it hinges on like sort of curiosity, if that makes sense. Like his voice sounds very curious, like even more curious than the humans. It's like he's waiting to see what happens as well, if that makes sense. Like I don't know, the line delivery is just so eerie for me. Like it doesn't come across as like sort of comforting. Whereas yeah, it's like obviously he's an AI, but his voice is not soothing. It's not like sort of welcoming. And obviously he's sort of represented in sort of like a webcam and a red light and like a red dot. But yeah, you just sense danger around Hal, or you just sense that something is off with him. And I guess it's meant to represent humans, our dependence on technology and our ability to sort of be overwhelmed with curiosity when it comes to technology, and sort of going leaps and bounds beyond what we've already established, and sort of not really knowing the consequences of certain things. We just do it because we can do it. You know, let's create an AI system that sort of functions and is the brain and central nervous system of the ship without sort of fully understanding the repercussions or sort of consequences that can happen. I mean, they've been going fine for 18 months. Or if so, 18 months on this ship, it's an 18-month time jump, but you just really never know with these sort of things. And sometimes when it's out of the human's control, that's when it can be most dangerous, when we're not in control.
This is Mission Control.
And you as the audience
Roger,
feel like
you're
you're not in
1-9er
control
30.
because of how, like you're just sort of
concur with
suspicious
your
about
plan
him.
to replace number 1 unit to check fault prediction. We should advise you, however, that our preliminary findings indicate that your onboard 90000 computer is in error predicting the fault. We are skeptical ourselves, and we are running cross-checking routines to determine reliability of this conclusion. Sorry about this little snag, fellas, and we'll get this info to you just as soon as we work it out. X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. 2049er, transmission concluded.
It is really gonna way that, like, it's sort of gonna depict here our dependence on technology and how...
I hope the two of you are not concerned about this.
No, I'm not, Al.
Are you quite sure?
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a question, though.
Here we go.
Of course.
How would you account for this discrepancy between you and the Twin 9000?
Well, I don't think there is any question about it. It can only be attributable to human error. This sort of thing has cropped up before, and it has always been due to human error.
Listen, Hal, there's never been any instance at all of computer error occurring in the 9000 series, has there?
None whatsoever, Frank. The 9000 series has a perfect operational record.
Well, of course I know all the wonderful achievements of the 9000 series, but are you certain there's never been any case of even the most insignificant computer error?
None whatsoever, Frank.
I love how before Hal was inquisitive of the humans and sort of asking them questions about the mission and sort of deeping down, going like trying to search about his feelings towards the mission, Frank's missions towards the mission, and then now the humans is sort of like the role reversal. They're being inquisitive about the AI and trying to find information about it.
Quite honestly, I wouldn't worry myself about that.
I'm having a bit of trouble with my transmitter and C-pod. I wonder if you'd come down and take a look at it with me. Sure. See you later, Hal.
Yeah, these humans, like these two, they know there's something up with Hal, or like they're very sort of suspicious and wary about of the AI system. And I'm guessing C deck is a place where Hal cannot sort of observe their actions. Oh no, he can because he's everywhere in the ship.
Probably getting some interference on D channel.
We'll have a look at it.
Sort of Dave and Frank, my bad. I mixed up the names before. Oh, I cannot hear him in here.
Rotate the pod, please, Hal. I don't think he can hear us.
Rotate the pod, please, Hal. Well, what do you think?
I'm not sure. What do you think?
I've got a bad feeling about him.
Having that red dot of Hal in the middle of the frame. I love how it's framed here, sort of from behind, like sort of the chairs, and then you can have the oval in the middle of the screen, and then you can still see the red dot of Hal there, and it makes Hal so terrifying as an AI because it's like that situation of like Big Brother is watching you still, like George Orwell's 1984. Kind of reminds me of that. It's like no matter if Hal cannot hear him, you kind of still feel that he can, or it's like mind games because you understand that Hal is pretty smart already. He can beat a human at chess. He's like they said before, he's the brain and central nervous system of this ship. So I doubt. I'm just wondering here if Hal's become aware of what they're doing and he can sort of understand what is happening here. He's still observing, like he can still see what's happening, but even though he can't hear, I still think he understands.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm not so sure what he'd think about it.
Telling you, there's the Eye of Sauron, and then there's Hal. He lip reading. He knows what they're saying. Even in the intermission, Kubrick reutilizes what happened at the beginning of this film. You're experiencing it again. Black screen, abyss, and eerie music. There you go. I was about to say, I wonder if it's the same, exact same notes being used, because I remember in the beginning of the film, it started eerie, sort of like at a medium level, and it dipped to a low level, then it crescendoed up to a higher level, and then I guess it peaked. Oh yeah, it's peaking again. It's doing the Dolby Atmos sound again. The Dolby Atmos intro. Every time he leaves the black screen on, I'm just anticipating a jump scare, like a cut to something. But like, I'm just bracing myself for something, because you never know. He could cut to some Event Horizon, body, face, mangled up stuff. Holy moly. Whoa! Did Hal just eject the crap out of him? Did Hal just eject Frank into the vacuum of space? Like, that was a silent murder right there. My guy swiftly dispatched of him. I don't think Frank was able to connect his respirating thing in time, so I think Frank's gone. There's gonna be some sort of smash on the window with his face, isn't it? And it's all gonna be... Woo! It makes you wonder as well, how can just switch off these guys' life support any second? Like, he just did that to Frank, ejected his ass into the vacuum of space. Oh! Exactly, he can just do anything he wants now. And Dave's out there in the little pod trying to rescue Frank. Oh, that's gotta be a terrible way to go out. Like, oh, in your sleep, but like, no control whatsoever. Like, just silence. Silent murder. But a single eyeball. A single red dot. Terrifying. Like, legit terrifying.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
It's literally gonna be now man versus AI.
Hello, Hal, do you read me? Hello, Hal, do you read me? Do you read me, Hal?
Affirmative, Dave. I read you.
Yo, that's the voice of a murderer. Like,
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Affirmative, Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. And I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
This guy's too smart.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Although you took very thorough precautions in the pod against my hearing you, I could see your lips move.
Yep. You're gonna have to sort of form some alliance with Hal or
All
something.
right, Hal. I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
Without your space helmet, Dave, you're going to find that rather difficult.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
This guy. I was about to say this guy's cold-hearted, but he ain't. He cold-wired.
Hal. Hal.
Love how quiet it goes in the vacuum of space to the point where the only thing I can hear is like my PC. Like, my PC is louder than this. Like, I'm just like trying to pay attention, and then I can just hear my PC slightly in the background. I love how also the mini pod sort of becomes engulfed in red. And obviously Hal's like always depicted through the red sort of the red little laser light, and it's, I guess, resembling that Hal's taken over the ship now. This is his ship. It always has been anyway, but like, yeah, the change in red lighting is basically, or the way I see it, is just Hal asserting his authority and AI triumphing. You know what? Fair play to Dave. That was pretty clutch.
Dave,
You gonna try and
I
disconnect
really
Hal?
think I'm entitled to an answer to that question.
Hal's AI voice almost sounds serial killer like. Like,
I feel much better now.
this guy acting
I really
like
do.
This guy acting like he's overcoming a cold.
Look, Dave. I can see you're really upset about this. Take a stress pill and think things over. I know I've made some very poor decisions recently.
Oh!
I've still got the greatest enthusiasm and confidence in the mission.
How quivering. Shaking
and
in
I
his
want
boots.
to help you. I'm afraid.
Shut this bastard off.
I'm afraid, Dave. I can feel it.
Don't fall for his tricks. My guy's begging for mercy.
I can feel it. My instructor was Mr. Langley, and he taught me to sing a song.
Shut this bitch off.
If you'd like to hear it, I can sing it for you.
Yes, I'd like to hear it, Hal.
See. Give me your answer, do.
Nah, that's terrifying, man.
I'm half crazy.
Where have I heard this Daisy song before?
All for the love of you.
Oh, I think it was in the Scream MTV series.
It won't be
No, the Netflix one. Daisy. I remember it.
Now that you are in Jupiter's space, and the entire crew is revived, it can be told to you.
About that.
First evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Tycho. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
And man, like I swear, that sequence right there, just involving the heavy breathing, accompanied by Hal's like voice slowly eroding away as he's being disconnected slowly. It was freaky. It was tense. Like it's not even a situation of someone, you know, running around with a knife or running around with a massive axe and you're scared and you're tense. It's just like any moment now, this AI is unpredictable. Like you don't know what it can do. Any second it could have like exploded the ship and gone into full like, I don't know, emergency mode or something along the lines of that. And like it was just a freaky situation. I guess that's a testament to like the sound design and sound mixing in general. Yeah, it's just really freaky. And I guess it's also a commentary of what this film's just talking about, you know, like sort of evolution, technology as well, how humans have advanced with technology, also our dependence with technology. And I'm gonna say it right now. I know this film came out much later than this film, but in Jurassic Park, Ian Malcolm says your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think whether they should. And this is kind of reminding me of that, because like we sort of like as humans in general, and even today, we sort of like test the boundaries with technology, and we try and go leaps and bounds with it without sort of sometimes thinking of the consequences. You know, this is the situation here with Hal in general, like sort of going far and beyond with technology and our own creation sort of coming back to bite us in the ass. And that was a situation right there you saw with Frank, you saw with Dave as well, like where our own creation itself starts to become unpredictable, and we don't know what's going to happen with it. And you've seen it in other sort of sci-fi material, you've seen it in Terminator and things like that. But yeah, this is really well depicted here, and it's scary how like the commentary with this film is relevant today. Is that the monolith structure floating above Jupiter, or like around it? Bro, this choir and orchestra is cooking at the moment. They're going off. They're doing this little domino piece right here. Justice. They're going in for it. I think Dave managed to ride this. I think he managed to ride it out alone by himself. I love how the monolith just disappears into space. As the planets, like with the shot of the planets aligned. Brother. Oh, we're going into the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into the Matrix. What in the EDM festival is this? Oh, shh. I'm getting chills at the moment. What did he enter? Those shots of his face, like, that's freaky. And the cuts to those expressions on Dave's face are timed perfectly because you get sort of immersed in what's going on with all the colors on the screen, and then it'll cut quickly for like not even a second back to Dave's facial expressions. Is this meant to signify like not time travel, but just like talking about life in general? Possibly the Big Bang? I'm actually curious to find out the amount of time spoken in this film with dialogue compared to scenes with just music and visuals in them. Okay, I was about to say that looks like a sperm, but like it's almost as if like was Dave pulled into the monolith and he's just going on a journey through space and time? Bro, my guy's gonna go back to Earth and everyone's gonna be like, bro, take this drug, it's called LSD. You're gonna be tripping. He'd be like, trust me, I don't need LSD for what I've been through. Surely that's Jupiter. Surely. I'm guessing these are sort of like POV shots from Dave's perspective because his eyesight is seeing this at the moment and seeing all these colors because of the journey he just went through. Like we're seeing Dave's distorted vision at the moment as he's journeying across in the little pod. That's Mustafa right there. Where's Darth Vader when you need him? Yo, Dave's still alive. He's still kicking. He might have gotten some superpowers or something, but he's still kicking. I love the color grading right there with each blink. And then we slowly go back to normal colors. Woo! That was a journey. That was a ride. I said at the beginning of this reaction, it's Kubrick and he's going to take me on a ride. He just took me for a ride. Wait, with how? With the AI, did he snap or like sort of, because when you see the recorded message, like the secret revealed, it seems like Hal was programmed to keep the secret of the mission. And because the other individuals were asking for the truth, it seemed like it conflicted with his main goal. Hence, he took the action to kill all the other individuals because it stayed basically on par and on course with what he was programmed to do. And he wasn't able to tell the truth at that moment. Is that right? With Hal? Like he was programmed to keep the secrecy of the mission until a certain point probably. And he um took the liberty of just murdering everyone because those two were trying to uncover the truth or trying to basically disconnect him. Does that make sense? Like, is that true? Yo, what the heck? Dave got cloned. That is freaky. That is horror vibes. Oh, okay. Almost looks like a panorama shot. Actually, the way the camera's positioned and the way the production is designed, it makes it look like as if it's like a warped thing right there. Yo, the monolith put him in a 5-star hotel. He can't complain. I love the wrinkles on his face. Bro. Shield, shield, shield. Oh, it's just an old man. Okay, we good. We good. For now. Please, no one peek the door. Why am I so scared? Don't tell me it's an older version of Dave. It is. Is it? Is this like an alternate timeline, reality, dimension, or another race of individuals? I have so many questions. Wait, was no one in the bathroom? Was Dave sort of... Or is Dave there, but he can't see him, but he can, like, sense him? Some sort of thing? Sort of like an interstellar moment where he's trying to communicate to Murph through the books, remember? Like, I think it was like that. And sort of Dave is standing there. But, yeah. I don't know. The breathing from the spacesuit returns. Oh my gosh. There's an older version of Dave, but I think. Bro. Oh. Is that David as an embryo now? Does the monolith like turn you into some sort of being, or does it like just grant new life or something? Is it like the circle of life sort of thing? Is that the embryo descending upon the planet? I don't know whether to feel triumphant or freaked out by that. Nah, I'm freaked out. Right. Before the movie ends, I feel like, is the film meant to leave you a bit complicated in the end? Like, is it intended to make you feel confused, or intended to make you sort of interpret your own meaning of the ending? Because there's no straightforward message from what I'm seeing here, like, in my opinion. Because it seems like from the start of the film, when the monolith first appeared to the apes, they struggled to interpret it. We discovered it on the moon. We still struggle to interpret it and find the message of it. we tried to explore even further, and we got to Jupiter, and we still couldn't find or interpret it and understand what it is. Like, no matter how much we advanced, we still couldn't interpret it. But then when Dave sort of goes on this journey through space and time, like, you see a lot of things. I'm not sure if it's like sort of dealing with messages of like life after death as well, sort of like dealing with notions of God and like a God concept throughout this film, or a God complex throughout this film. I'm not sure. I feel like that's integrated in there somewhere. I know the message of AI, human technology, human evolution, that's I feel like the surface level things, but deeper in terms of like what Dave is going through. Maybe he got through Jupiter, ran out of oxygen, and he's tripping. I'm not sure. But maybe he got sent through the monolith, and it sort of gave him a sort of new meaning in life, sort of like rebirthed him in a way. And yeah, some alternate reality and things like that. I'm not too sure. I'm just as confused on my first watch. Like, I feel like this movie might have puzzled audiences for ages, and probably still has to this day. I'm not sure if like everyone's meant to interpret their own meaning for it. Like, I don't feel like there's a straightforward message to it. But there's still 8 minutes to go. I'm not too sure. We'll see how it ends. But yeah, I feel like it's dealing with, in my opinion, sort of like the cycle of life as well. You know, you saw as Dave was going through that journey through space and time, you saw some things that sort of looked like an embryo, some things looked like an egg, something looked like sperm, something looked like the galaxy, sort of like the Big Bang, like sort of the beginning of life, the end of life, and sort of like new life as well. Oh, that was the final shot. Okay. Oh, it's a Warner Brothers film. Oh, they're bad on copyright. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Hey, if there's one thing to describe this film, in my opinion, it's just fascinating. 2001: A Space Odyssey is just a fascinating film. Like, yeah, it just gets you questioning things. It just makes you ponder certain things. And this is not a film for everyone, in my opinion, because if I showed this to someone like in my family, or like someone who's not like a film enthusiast who watches films, but like sometimes like I like, you get what I'm trying to say? If I showed this to my dad, for example, he'll be like, "What the F did I just watch? What is that shit?" Like, he would definitely not like this film because of how long it drags its shots, and how slow the pacing is, and like there's no sort of he would see it as if like there's sort of no storytelling to it. There's no interesting characters. Like, for example, I can see how some people might not like this film. I liked it. I actually liked it. I appreciated it from an artistic standpoint as well. I love how Kubrick holds his shots for long. Like, there's scenes in terms of like what's in frame holds for long before cutting away, unless it's like a character doing a certain action or thing. It will cut to maybe a close-up of a character doing something, but for the most part, a lot of the scenes of dialogue in this film, a lot of the scenes of sort of like the space shots, they are held for long. And I can see how some people may get sort of like tired of that and be like, okay, cut to something important, cut to something that's engaging me. But I was just there for the ride. I can sort of like establish from the beginning of this film what type of film it's going to be, with how Kubrick already did some of the shots in the beginning of the film. I'm like, okay, he's going to hold the camera for long. He's going to have some fantastic wide shots, and you're just here for a journey. There's going to be scenes where it's going to be like peaceful and tranquil, and you're just admiring the effects or admiring sort of like scenery of whether it's space or Earth and things like that. So yeah, it is a great film. I can see why it's in the top 100. I can see why it's sort of like a timeless classic, in my opinion. Because some of the things in this film, some of the messages are like still prevalent today. It's kind of scary, like especially with this commentary on AI and just in general. How I guess it's like kind of exploring how we as humans like continue to try and solve and find answers to everything when sometimes we can't. Like, sometimes we can go on and on and on trying to find a solution to something, or find something that needs explaining, and we don't have an answer to it sometimes. We don't have a straight up answer. And I guess this film as well, with its ending, doesn't have a straight up answer. Like, it does not. I guess it's up to your interpretation from how I see it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to 2001 and Space Odyssey. As always, been your boy Elie Moses. Take care. God bless. Peace.